Welcome
back to the
Made to Flourish podcast.
Yes.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back.
So much has happened.
Yeah. I feel like it's been kind of like a big season of us like kind of growing. Like the new year happened, right? And
2025.
Yeah. And we had certain, goals and the things we wanted to implement. And it's funny because as I was like thinking about what we're going to talk about today, I'm like, oh, I've kind of like have done what I've wanted to do in the new year, and that feels nice. There was nothing
big deal.
big. I didn't like be able to being able to do a pull up has like always been on my list. I've always wanted to do a pull up. I can't do a pull up.
Oh, I it's on my list to never do a pull up. I'm actually not even kidding.
I would love to be able to die one day knowing that I've done one pull up in my earthly body, but like there's something about my brain body connection. I can't do a pull up. But
so funny.
So definitely like goals like that. But like I've had like a few internal things that I've wanted to grow in, and it's been cool to like reflect for the last 3 months. I'm like, wow, I've like actually like kind of like dove into those things. Like one of them being I really wanted to make a baby-led weaning ebook.
Yes.
And I did, and I felt really proud of it. I feel really proud of it. And I actually sold a lot of them. It's the first time I ever feel like I've really sold a product well that I've made myself. I didn't hire like a virtual assistant to do it. I made it myself, and I feel like, wow, I actually did that.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And so that's been like a really cool thing. But also like, I know we've been kind of talking about, I think that you and I are both, we've had 4 kids.
Yes.
We're entering into like the mid-30s.
I can't.
We're in our mid-30s.
Honey, I'm in my mid to upper mid-30s.
And I've just been thinking about like different ways that like there's a lot of things we don't have control over, right?
Totally.
I can't control where my boobs hang, right? Like they're do your boobs, do they wobble to and flow? Disturbing now. But after breastfeeding for like the last 9 years.
I feel it.
But I can control how I smell. I've not worn like perfume in decades. Yeah. Partially because of like learning about fragrances early on in my life. Like I need to cut things out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But recently, like they have like some like cool new perfumes out. Like I got like a new perfume the other day that like a brand sent me. I think it's called like 7 Virtues. The 7 Virtues maybe. But it just made me feel like so feminine and beautiful. Yeah. Like I want to implement things I do have control over. Like I told you the other day, I'm like, I want to start like looking a little bit more put together, like not just being in like my freaking leggings 24/7. I want to be able to like wear dresses, or at least like when I go out, like put a pair of like gold hoops in. Yeah. And just like little things that I can do to kind of make me feel a little bit better about myself, because I do have control in some ways.
Why do you think this has kind of like spurred on? Do you think it's because you're like a year postpartum, or is it because you think like because you're in your mid-30s? Like what was that moment?
I'm realizing that like how I am on my outside affects how I am on my inside. And I guess I've never done a great job at prioritizing self-care because it's felt really frivolous to me. I'm like really like about this, really run high on efficiency. Yeah. And I'm like, why would I wash and do my hair if I'm going to get sweaty tomorrow? Why would I do this to my hair if I'm going to get in the sauna later? Which like those things matter to me. Like I do like sauna, I do work out, I do love going to the beach. But when you're constantly in that mode, I just feel like it started to like kind of affect me internally, where like I just like wasn't feeling pretty, or that's important for us as women. I think it's okay for me to be able to admit that like I want to feel pretty.
Yes. It is.
But being in like gym clothes and like having my hair, like having like frizzy hair all the time doesn't make me feel good about myself. Right. And I am like my youth is fading. It just is. Like I'm getting older.
I don't think so.
Like my wrinkles are setting in, and I've started feeling myself like kind of started like not really liking the way that I've like looked, and I'm like, that's not good.
We can't have that.
I can't like what do I have control over right now? Yeah. I'm gonna do my hair even if it means I'm gonna get a little bit sweaty tomorrow.
Yes, right.
I'm gonna put in these earrings because it takes 5 seconds, and they just make me feel pretty. So like one of the things I'm wearing right now, like I asked you for my birthday, or it was a year ago. Yeah. Because it was at Alicia's birthday party. Yes. I was like, I want to start wearing jewelry. Yes. Once again, it wasn't efficient, so I haven't worn jewelry in a decade. Right. So like, you guys got me this like tarnished frilled. Where'd you guys order this from?
Oh, it's like golden, I think, possibly is what it's called.
Golden. Yeah. Tarnish free necklace, a tarnish free bracelet, and I don't have to take them off.
Yes, that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Jewelry,
and
I don't
like
have to take off.
I found my wedding ring. I didn't wear my ring for 4 years. I found my wedding ring
for all of our friendship. You hadn't worn your wedding ring until recently. I was like, oh my gosh, look at that on your hand. Look at that beautiful diamond.
Just like little things that like make me just like feel a little bit more put together. Yeah. Has made me feel better internally. I feel less. I would almost low-key, this is kind of embarrassing to admit on like a platform like this, I would almost low-key feel a little bit embarrassed about myself when I would go out. Like I'd be like
No.
at like Costco, and like I like could like run into people that like followed me, and they're like, "Oh, hi, you're flourishing motherhood." I'm like, "Am
Yes,
I?"
that's me.
But
flourishing.
I'm like, man, yeah.
Just flourishing over here.
I'm like, I want to be able to do like little things that make me feel good about myself. And so
totally.
like having to get that little perfume in the mail, like I didn't realize what I was gonna like do for my soul.
Yeah.
Or
so
like
cool.
I have the fastest like makeup routine in the universe.
Yeah,
I don't think
get
people realize
your makeup that you've been using.
Araza.
There's a thing in our friendship where I pronounce everything wrong, and Meg corrects me every time. Meg make sure that I know that I'm saying it wrong.
Not every time.
Not every time. Shut up. Don't even.
It's worse. No, just kidding. Araza. It's actually hard to pronounce. Do you have Zara? So it's it's right, but it's coconut oil based. Coconut oil based,
which is great because I use coconut oil for my face.
Yes, and it's so nourishing. Like I'm telling you, like I feel like, especially during the winter time, like it makes my skin feel so dewy, which that like back to that youthful glow. It gives me a dewy. Okay, so what I do, they have a concealer, a blush,
like a foundation,
and a foundation. Yeah. All I do is I have the foundation brush. I like literally like dab it in my thing, and I blot it on my face, and then swirl it.
Okay.
Takes 30 to 45 seconds to apply my foundation. If I want to use some concealer under my eyes.
Is it a powder or is it like a cream?
It's a cream. They have a powder form.
It's like a cream, but it's not liquid. It's a cream.
It's literally, it almost has a consistency of like tallow. Almost.
Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting.
No, it goes on even better than tallow. It has, I don't know, it's like a really thick foundation.
Okay.
But because it's like oil based, like when it hits your skin, it kind of like softens, right?
I love that.
Because of the heat of your skin.
Yeah.
So that goes on really fast. And then their blush, I literally just like do their blush on, or Well People.
Yeah. Yep.
They have this little blush stick, and I literally just go swipe, and I use the same brush I put my foundation on, and I just blot it in, and then I use Well People mascara.
Okay.
And so those are like the three. It's so simple, but I swear, it makes me feel 10 times better to have that on. Like I level up so hard. And like I feel like I level up at least personally. No one else has to think it. I feel it. That's what
I feel leveled up. Yeah.
Like, it's like so cute. Like they'll be like, "Oh, mommy, you look so pretty."
Yeah.
Like, where are we going? And I'm like, "Nowhere, honey. I just want to put on a blush." But I also feel like it like the kind of like makeup like actually feeds my skin, and
that's very cool.
It makes me feel like my skin is moisturized the entire day.
I really want to try that makeup line.
Araza also has a new coconut oil lip gloss they sent me.
Ooh, interesting.
And it's not bright. It's like very like muted, but it's just, once again, it's like a pretty little touch.
Yeah.
That I have not done in like since before I was married. Like I haven't worn lip gloss since like high school.
Wow.
So it's like kind of cute to have like a little lip gloss with me again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like kind of dipping into more of my feminine side.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks.
I love that for you so much. Share a little bit, like update the people on like some cool things that have been going on in your life, because there's actually been like some pretty neat things that I feel like you guys are doing at a personal level.
Yes.
As a family. Do you want to share?
Yeah.
Some of that stuff? Yeah.
So long story long, because I'm going to share everything. I was on...
Long story not short.
Long story not short. Buckle in. I've wanted to get into Airbnbs since Airbnbs were a thing.
Yeah.
First of all, I just love hosting. I could live in a mansion with like 100 people and never get tired of it. I love hosting.
I love it.
And I love traveling. Like that is one of like my top most like valued things in my life, is being able to travel. So I've wanted to have an Airbnb forever. Of course, you have to have money to have an Airbnb, unless you do rental arbitrage, which I'm not going to get too deep into things on this one, but I might make a whole other podcast just about like Airbnbs.
Interesting.
But Cam and I finally had saved up enough money after like 10 years of really working on our finances to be able to own an Airbnb, to be able to buy a second home. And I was on Instagram and I saw this course come up about like, it's called Airbnb Academy, and I can share more about that later, because I actually have an affiliate if anyone wanted to like look into that, like look into like, getting into this course.
Nice.
And it has literally everything you need to know about running your own Airbnb. Like the most minute details. There's hours and hours of videos. I've been studying. Yeah. Basically since I think August is when I bought into this course. You get your own coach. You get your course that you go through, and they walk you through step by step on how to own your own Airbnb, because it's not hard to do Airbnb, but if you want to be a top seller and like rank in like the top 10 of your city, there's strategy.
Right, absolutely.
So I've basically been like studying for the last like 4 months how to like host a really epic Airbnb. So we finally like put an offer in. Yeah. Got our inspection done. we're getting it re-inspected tomorrow because there are some things that need to be fixed.
Okay.
We bought a house in Richmond.
So excited.
And Richmond, I mean, I know that people probably don't know a lot about Richmond, but like it's a really
Richmond,
fun,
Virginia.
Yeah, Richmond, Virginia. It's a fun little East Coast city.
It is.
There's lots of great food and coffee and
The
concerts.
best coffee. Yes.
And parks. Like, was it
Baymont? Baymont?
No, it's an M, right? Mermont?
Oh, May.
Why am I asking you? There's this really epic park in Richmond. It's so beautiful. But
Disrespectful.
But I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
Cam's doing it alongside of me, and I've really have been just growing so much in like my financial literacy because I freaking don't understand why schools don't teach you about finances. Like, I think it's on purpose. I really think that
absolutely.
like America wants to keep you dumb and poor because if they can control your money, they
control you.
Yeah, because everyone's living in fear of not having enough, and so they don't want to teach you how to have enough. So like, I'm learning about so much about like taxes, and I know it's kind of boring, but when you start, now that I have skin in the game, and I actually have enough money to start investing, like low key, it's really taken off. So I've also found this podcast by a lady named Cody Sanchez. She has her own podcast. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's all about finances. And so like I've just been like become a student of like learning about money. And I want to buy a laundromat now. I want to buy a car wash place. Like there's so many things where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have to live in this rat race of just like working between Cam and I, we have 4 jobs. Like I work at a gym. Yeah. I work for Flourishing Motherhood. Yeah. Cam does part-time reserve stuff for the military. He's also like a full-time pilot. Like we have been in the rat race. Yes. And I'm like, we need to finally have our money work for us and create some form of passive income. Yeah. And so I've read this book. Oh my gosh. This is where I would start. If you're looking for a place to start. This book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's funny because I've brought it up to maybe like, I don't know, like a billion people since I've read it. And half of them have already read it. Okay, like your husband, Akeem, he read the book. Like, there's so many different people. Like our teacher at our kids' school, she read that book, and like she's runs multiple businesses. So it's like crazy how this book, and it's free on Spotify. You can listen to it for free.
Yes, I'm going to.
I devoured it, and I just learned so much, especially about the mindset of finances.
It's all about mindset, right?
Yes, and like I grew up in a really poor family, and my parents, unfortunately, like they didn't know any better, and there's no shame to that, but like they just perpetuated poverty. They grew up incredibly impoverished. Like my parents grew up not having food on the table, not having clothes that fit, families of 6 kids. Like it was tragic how they grew up. There was never a conversation of how to not be that way. It was more like how to not complain about being poor. Just don't complain. But there was never any hope of getting out of it. And so to read about like, I mean, I struggle with self-doubt. Like that's like one of my biggest things is like, in my mind, I'm like, if it was this easy to make money, why aren't other people doing it? It's like this doubt of like, there's no way that like I can do this. This is like reserved for like special people or smart people or rich people or whatever. And I'm like, now I'm like, no, like there are creative ways that Rich Dad Poor Dad actually talks about. Like you don't need a lot of money to start investing. You don't need a lot. Yep. And so, I've been like kind of becoming so hyper focused on this.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah.
So what else? Like what else is exciting that's been going on in like your world?
Really random. Like it feels really random at least. But there was this lady from France. She
this is the most random.
This is literally the most random thing ever.
This is so random.
And honestly, I feel like Holy Spirit has something to do with it because of this.
Okay.
I read an email. Which
you read an email.
I don't even read my text messages. The fact that I read an email that someone sent me from a rant. I literally remember I was sitting in the parking lot of a coffee shop in Munita. Nice. And I don't know why I clicked it. Her name is Barbara. And I clicked on this email from Barbara. And she's like, hey, I film documentaries in France. And I'm filming one about trad wives. And I want to fly to the States and like kind of like put you in my documentary about these like about trad wives. If you don't know what a trad wife is, apparently
I was like, please explain because I did not know. I was like, I thought this was like a military term.
No. So trad wife is a traditional wife. Okay. And honestly, like I think we're all a little bit icked out by the term. But basically it just means like, you know, like you cook meals for your family, you stay at home, like you're quote unquote stay at home mom. I'm actually a work from home mom, but like I'm at home with my kids the majority of the time. And I take a more traditional role as a person who takes care of our home, takes care of the children, takes care of the food. And my husband takes care of the finances. So that's kind of like where trad wife came from. And a lot of people think of trad wives as like the Stepford wives, right? Like you have to like be beautiful and like be like subservient, like all
have
these
no
like
voice.
things.
Yeah.
I like obviously like that's like not my dynamic at all. Like I love to cook and I love serving Cam. Cam is very, very, very independent. I
Yeah.
wish he needed me more.
Yeah. Need me.
If he had the man flu, like men have man flus, I would be the best person for that. I would
That's
love
why
to rub your
God
back.
gave you me. Because I have been needing you the
And
last
I
4 or
love
5
it.
years.
I love it.
Like, Meg,
Yes.
I need you.
Like if Cam was like, I need some chicken noodle soup, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'd like whip it up from scratch. I'll literally make the noodles for you.
Yeah,
Like I would love that. But
literally
like,
make
he's
the
just
noodles.
like, leave me alone, let me sleep.
Yeah. Can you get me some ramen?
Exactly. He's like, I'll take care of myself. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm like, oh. So the Trad Wife documentary was really interesting because I kind of thought it was like a gimmick, and then she like literally like was on FaceTime with me like
That was
that
so
afternoon.
sketched out. I was like, do you know who this is?
Well,
Why are you letting these
Ballerina
people come?
Farms, like how
Yeah.
like the New York Times did her dirty.
Yeah.
I was like, are you gonna Ballerina Farms me?
Yeah.
Because like, okay, like you're from Paris, like that's very like modern,
Yeah.
very like anti-trad wife. But she was like, no, like it's actually like people are really interested in this. And so I like looked her up and I looked up some of the documentaries she'd been a part of, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of like in a yes zone right now. Like I want to say yes to opportunities. So yeah, she flew over from France, stayed with me for 2 days, kind of filmed me and my life. I think you got to meet her. She filmed us for a little bit. And the documentary, I don't think it's out yet, but I saw the trailer.
Was that like the trailer for it?
I saw the trailer.
Wow.
And I mean, it was so fun. And I adore her. Like
Yeah,
she was
she was
so
really
much fun.
sweet.
Yeah. And it was just cool to be able to have someone kind of like document this like little part of our life. So
so
when it
cool.
comes out, I'll share a link.
You got to.
It was really cute to see it from that perspective.
Yes, yeah.
It was cute to like hear like the French subtitles over the background and stuff like that.
I saw that, yeah. So
And to
cute.
be like the opening scene is like is Ballerina Farms. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, like it's
Did she interview her as well?
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she would have loved the opportunity.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Hannah's really like wanting opportunities like that right now.
Right. Is that her name, Ballerina?
Yeah, her name's Hannah. Yeah, and then she did interview someone who's a trad wife from France who's living in Utah right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how that's gonna turn out. But speaking of saying yes to things,
Yes.
I got a crazy text in yesterday.
Yes, you did. Which is, again,
A miracle.
the
that I read
Holy
this.
Spirit and a miracle of God. So Meg corrects my pronunciation, and I call out the lack of text,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the fact
yeah,
that you
yeah.
like are getting a text
And
or an
reading
email.
it.
Yeah,
there's
huge.
literally over 800 texts on my
Yes.
phone right now, and
Wild.
that's just how it's going to be for the rest of my life.
Wild.
I'm just fine with that. You know what? I'm okay with that. But I got a text yesterday from a girl named Olivia. She's a producer, one of the producers of the Great American Baking Show.
Amazing.
So if you guys have not watched the Great British Bake Off, what are you doing with your life?
What are you
Like,
doing?
That's one of my favorite shows ever.
Why is it so good?
It's so good.
So good.
And I love, oh my gosh, I literally have cookbooks from this show. Like, I
So
love
cool.
this show. I've watched them all. Olivia texts me, a producer from the Great American Baking Show. It's now in
Right.
America.
Right.
I apply kind of haphazardly about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Low-key forgot that I applied. I don't think I even finished the application because there's a video portion. I was like at like a coffee shop. I'm like, I'm not gonna like record a
No
video in a
video.
coffee shop.
Yeah.
Then my phone my computer ends up shutting it out, and I was like, whatever. Maybe I'll apply next year. Maybe I won't.
Yeah.
She texts me. Apparently, like part of my application went through, but my phone number on it, and she's like, "I would love for you to send me more pictures of your bakes. Like, do you have any more pictures you can share with me?"
Insane.
So
The fact that you're in a texting conversation with a producer
of
the show
for an American baking
Yes.
show, I still like genuinely. I'm not saying this to be like humble. I think there's like a 5% chance I'll get on this show. I don't think it's high. There's a lot of things you have to get through. Like, I'm sure you have to get through casting calls. I'm sure you have to, I think you actually have to, because my cousin's husband's brother
Okay.
got a call back for this show. They live in
Like
Philadelphia.
this year?
3 years ago.
Oh, 3 years
on
ago.
the McCardle side of my family.
Really?
So yeah, my cousin Lauren McCardle married a guy named Scott, and
Okay.
Scott's brother like loves Scott and his brother both love to bake and cook. They're huge
Really?
foodies.
Okay,
and
adorable.
so he got a call back, and then I think there was like a certain like stage he got eliminated, not on the show, but like to get on the show.
Yeah,
So I think you
interesting.
think you have to bake for them. They have to like eat your food and like approve you,
Oh.
and that's really stressful in
Are
general.
they flying to you to bake for them? Or are
I'm
you
pretty sure
flying
you fly
to them?
and they don't pay you for this show either.
Yeah, that's a little annoying.
But I'm 100% going to say yes to this.
You think they're doing that for the English one?
They don't pay people for the English one either.
No, do you think that this whole process exists for the English one too?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I think they want like a variety of people.
Yeah.
And I think they care about your personality. They want people to view it. And the Great American Baking Show isn't huge right now. Like, even their Instagram platform, like I have more followers than they do.
Wow.
Not that like matters, but like you know they're still growing.
Right.
And Roku is the one who like sponsors it.
Okay, interesting.
But I'm just like I would 100% do that. I'm like I would be so
that
excited.
would be so fun.
I kind of live my life like that. The chaos that I bring into my kitchen, I think I would.
Yeah, like I think you'd thrive.
You honestly, I'm not gonna have any kids on rollerblades.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be great.
It can't be worse than
it's
what
gonna be
I'm
the
doing
most
at my
peaceful
house.
experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the zone.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's like it will like have prepared you. What your everyday life will have prepared
Everything.
you for that competition.
Yes, 100%. So I don't know if I'll get another text or call or follow up.
Yeah.
But I could be on TV maybe, which
That's
would be
so
my
cool.
dream. Like if you were to say like, Megan, I'll give you anything in the world, like what would you have for your career? I would love to have my own cooking or baking show.
Wow.
Like was her name? I'm gonna say her name now.
Rachel Ray or something like that.
Yeah, or like Joanna Gaines.
Oh, Joanna Gaines.
Have you ever watched any of her Magnolia
No,
cooking
I didn't
shows?
even know she had a cooking show. She does cooking. She cooks too.
The
My goodness.
cutest personality ever. And she like I've made entire meals that she's made on her cooking show. Like what I made for Christmas dinner was her recipe of a beef tenderloin.
Really?
Yeah, like I've watched like I will rewatch her cooking shows.
Okay, so cool.
It's on Magnolia, I think. I don't know if you have to pay for them now. But I watched them all when I was pregnant with Meadow and had really bad morning sickness. all I would do is watch cooking shows when I'm had morning sickness. But like it would be my dream to like have people recording. Like I would love to just be able to like share all of the recipes, all of my hacks, all of my like bakes, and I just love doing it. So
my sister-in-law texted me randomly a couple weeks ago, like Meg needs a cookbook, and I'm like, I know she does.
I would love.
Is that on your heart?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like one of like my like dreams has been to have like a cookbook devotional. I know it sounds kind of like cheesy.
Yes. I feel like you mentioned this to me a long time ago. Yes.
And like have like, I don't know, like incorporate the Lord in scripture and like, I don't know, like kind of like my heart behind what we bring, because like food has such a historical significant value. Like like Jesus broke bread with his disciples. Like his first miracle was at like a wedding, at a wedding feast, like the banquet table. God made food, like the Garden of Eden. Like there's so many like references to food and agriculture, and I feel like there's a spiritual depth there that like I feel connected to the food that I eat and produce, and when I get to share it with other people, like we're recording in the studio right now, like I literally brought like a bread basket for the person we're recording for, because like that's just like it's I don't know,
I love that.
It's meaningful to me.
I love that so much. That's so cool. So exciting.
What about you?
What should I share? What are some things? So
you shared something recently which I was like so proud of you about, your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm. Like you learned about your circadian rhythm.
Yes,
and
because
grounding.
that's like your realm.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And like you've been talking to me about this for like years, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Like
cool.
before we were friends, and I would just share on my channel. I used to share a lot about like getting sunlight in your eyes the first thing in the morning because of how like your hormones.
You're right. So I'm 12 weeks postpartum. Again, I've been pregnant since 2021, guys. It's 2025.
Let's have
I've been pregnant since I was 2020. Let's have a moment of silence. And you know, my body be different. My body be different. And it's been a very humbling experience. It's been very challenging, honestly. To age, I think I was like 33 when I got pregnant with Eliana, and now I'm 36. And to be like kind of like aging the most I've ever aged, while being pregnant, the most I've ever been pregnant, and my body just changing on so many different levels, right? But so I'm finally postpartum, and we are going to be very vigilant about not getting pregnant again in the name of Jesus. And, you know, just really ready to figure out how to get my body back in order as much as I can. And I really believe in micro habits. Like I really do think like it's got to be like the little things, right, that like just kind of help you get to the big places that you want to go. And so I've been trying to figure out like what are those little habits that I can have going into this year. I was really trying to think about that. And one of them is I started like following some information about just like how to still burn fat while breastfeeding, right? Because like the whole thing is like breastfeeding. I don't necessarily like lose weight naturally when I breastfeed. But I do think I could hack it, right? Like
Yeah.
you did. Like you breastfed this whole year and you were still able to drop your baby weight. And I just haven't had a chance to do that. So now I'm ready to see if I can. So some rhythms, like little micro rhythms that I'm starting to implement now at 12 weeks is really like partnering with the circadian rhythm and partnering with like this sun and being intentional about when I wake up to catch that morning sun in my eyes. So like sometimes if I want to avoid seeing the kids, because if I see the kids, I'm not getting outside. Like it's not happening.
Yeah, you can't make it
I
through
like
that crowd.
literally the sun like rises in my bathroom. So I just like have been opening up the bathroom window because like you want to like not have glass either.
Yeah.
So I've been opening up the bathroom window, just like literally like posting
Propping
my
your chin
on my hands and just like staring at the sun and like looking at the trees and trying to get at least 5 minutes of that unless I can step outside. Like this morning, it was like kind of warm out, but it was like cloudy, but it was warm. So I stepped out.
Even when it's cloudy,
you
it
still
works.
got to get it, right?
Yeah, it still works.
So I stepped out there, put my feet in the grass and just like stared into the sky and starting with that. And what's crazy, because what I've learned is like when you do that, it actually tells your body to stop producing melatonin. So it helps you to naturally wake up, which is amazing because I have a hard time.
Your cortisol. So you want your cortisol and your melatonin to work like in sync with each other.
Right.
You want your melatonin to rise at night. You want your cortisol to drop. And then in the morning, you want your cortisol to rise.
Right. Because now you got to get on with the day.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because like I would always say I'm not a morning person. Like I usually feel very groggy when I wake up and like just like not motivated, don't really want to be awake. And I'm like, oh, it's probably because I'm not catching the sun. Like my body maybe needs the sun, you know? And so that's been actually really helping. I've also been going to bed earlier and really trying to get minimum 8 hours. It's like 7 hours is not enough.
Sleep
7 hours is not enough.
Is so underrated.
It is.
People do not realize that if you got 8 hours of sleep a night, your mood, your metabolism, like so many things, your immune system, so many things would improve.
Yep. It's true. So I'm trying to aim for 8 hours. 9 hours is like good.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be asleep by 10, but been crawling in bed around 9:30 with Ava. So that's been really nice. That's going to be hard to keep up over the summer, but that's like my goal. So I've been really trying to prioritize sleep, getting that morning sun, and then trying to even catch the evening sun, like as the sun's setting, like stare into the sky, check it all out, which is my favorite time of the day. Sunset anyways.
That's like natural red light therapy too.
And
by the way.
it's true. And the sunset is
yeah.
that's amazing. Also, like I'm tired by the time like doing that. I'm like, oh, I'm sleepy by 7:30. I'm sleepy by 8 now, as opposed to like I'm kind of wired
because your cortisol is dropping.
Yes. So I'm feeling all that. So it's been really good. And I've gotten Akeem to like do this with me because I was like, yo, if you don't do this with me, I'm like, it's just hard.
And you've been eating.
Right. So okay. So those are like the sleep, the circadian rhythm, and now some eating stuff. So eating with the sun. So eating like first hour that I wake up, not eating after the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Because what I've also learned is that when you eat, after the sun has gone down, it's telling your body to store fat because of all those different chemicals and all the different things that are involved. You would know more what those are involved in like what your body needs for like there's like leptin and like all these different parts of your like hormones in your body that work together to like rest and repair and restore, right? As you sleep. Well, when you eat after dark, you kind of stop or like hinder that process from happening, and then your body goes into storing fat. When you don't eat after the sun goes down and you're able to fast like 12 to 14 hours through sleeping, you are telling your body to burn the stored fat. So I'm really trying to honor that, like that limit, and really just like let those be the boundaries of when I eat. I've been a snacker. Like I'm just like eating throughout the day, especially when you're like doing stuff for the kids and you're just like pop. Really trying to prioritize eating no more than 3 times a day, which I've like always hated that thought. Like it was always like been annoying to me. It sounds so boring.
You need a little hit.
Yeah, I need a little hit every once in a while, every 2 hours, you know? But no, I'm really trying to prioritize like really getting a sufficient meal in each time I eat. Really making sure I'm getting that protein, that fat, the right carbs in so that I'm like satiated.
Laughing to myself right now because Cam and I, this is like made us feel like cavemen, literally ate a grilled chicken breast like it was a cookie on our way over here today.
Yes.
Like I went to Costco and we're both sitting there with an entire grilled chicken breast, and he's like, "This feels so wrong." And I'm like, "I know, but we're in the phase of life
so
now."
Right. And so right.
This is the phase of life we're in, where we're literally eating chicken breasts like they're cookies in the car. Oh my gosh,
that's hilarious.
What we do for ourselves.
Absolutely. And honestly, like that's kind of how I roll during the day. It's really easy, obviously, to have breakfast and dinner, right? You're at the house preparing, but on the days that I'm out, those are the hard days. Those are the days I have to like be prepared.
Yeah.
Or I'm eating like that.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm just like literally getting a rotisserie chicken. I'm just gonna like eat it in the car. You know.
Yeah.
But
which is better than like pulling through Taco Bell.
It's true.
It's
true. So yeah, I'm really trying to eat within that window.
By the way, Costco has turkey sticks now. Not beef sticks, turkey sticks, which is great for your macros because it's high in protein but lower in fat.
Oh, interesting.
And it has a really good like rosemary, like lemon flavor.
Ooh, fun. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the brand is? Is it Chomps or is it a different one?
Not, but it's near Chomps, and it's like antibiotic free, whatever.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Cool. So, you'll have to let me know if they're spicy.
They're not spicy. I've tried.
Oh, love it. Okay.
They're a little tangy, but they're not spicy.
Okay, cool. So really trying to eat full meals, 3 meals max. And then like my goal is like to eventually like skip dinner sometimes. Mm-hmm. I've heard that if you're going to like fast and like skip a meal, like if you're trying to do intermittent fasting, for women, a lot of times, especially ones who are more like sensitive, insulin resistant, cortisol sensitive, to actually skip dinner. So what my goal is going to be is to like work up to like maybe once a week, maybe eating at like 4:00 and then like not eating until the next day.
That's great.
So that'll be a goal of mine. It's funny.
Start with once a week. It's a really reasonable goal.
I think so too. I'm like, okay, like let's be reasonable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like let's not have unrealistic expectations. That's like early 20s stuff where I'm like, I'm gonna do all these things. City. Totally.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in seasons of my past where I have lost weight or maintained weight loss, a lot of these are like I wouldn't eat after dark. Like I remember like there was a season where I wouldn't eat after like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. and it was like great, you know? Yeah. So I'm like, wow, going back to things that have worked for me. And then also cutting out rice and flour and like bread for right now. But still having like some potatoes and some fruits and some vegetables, but then really just like getting in like high protein through animal sources, really prioritizing. It's kind of like
an animal based like Whole30.
Yeah, exactly.
But Whole30 doesn't allow dairy, does it?
I don't think so. I think you're right. Yeah, but I'm definitely like keeping my dairy in there. Like gotta have dairy. So yeah, so I'm excited. I feel good. I feel like this is achievable. I feel like this is satiating. I feel like safe. Like my body feels safe, honestly, with this approach.
I love that. Tell me some of your like favorite like little treats, little things that you've been doing that have been like helping.
I'm just like so into dates right now.
The dates
like
and butter.
Why are you so good? And it's like so trending right now too.
It is, but I
Instagram.
get why.
Because it's amazing.
Well, you know, it's funny because I did a Whole30 and like I did like the Daniel fast. I used to do this stuff like that a lot when I was in college.
Yeah, same. And I was also like such a like 2008 to 10, like 12.
And it was so cool to be a vegetarian, right? Yes. Like I was vegetarian until I had Flora.
Yeah.
And I feel like all people who are like animal based now used to be vegetarians.
Oh, interesting.
But I've always loved dates. Yeah. And I had never thought to put butter in them because like I always dipped mine in peanut butter or in like almond butter or whatever. But salted butter.
Dude.
Oh gosh.
Salted butter, and for me it's been cinnamon, a dash of cinnamon on top. So there's like this particular type of cinnamon called like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it.
I thought it was like cayenne, but yeah.
It's kind of like, it looks like cayenne.
It's like CEYENNE
or something like yes.
Yeah.
So there's a particular type of cinnamon that is actually helpful for insulin responses. Yeah. And it's like a higher quality cinnamon. It smells amazing. It's very different smell than like just like your cheap cinnamon that you would get at like Walmart or whatever, which we have in our cabinet as well. It's been like this like large one that we've had for like a year and a half. That it came by. It's fine. That'll never go away. And yeah, so I have this like little whatever, this particular type of cinnamon. I just like dash that on there.
So good.
It's so good. So that's like my like what I look forward to.
Remember when we talked about, was it berberine?
Yes. So I was looking, I don't think it's breastfeeding friendly.
I know it's not pregnancy friendly, but I just didn't know because I know that helps with insulin resistance.
I have looked into that, and I keep feeling like I'm running into being careful about breastfeeding because there's just not a lot of information on it.
I know.
Only that I'm so early on in my breastfeeding journey, like I get
once
like
she starts eating food, you might
right, like to be like newborn where she's just like fully reliant on my like milk. I just want to be really careful what I'm taking, which is annoying because like I want to be taking a lot of things right now that would like actually help me maybe like have a quicker physical response. That treat is like pretty much doing it for me. And like honestly, like I'm still in my everyday dose game. Like
nice.
I love that coffee.
So good.
So much.
It's so good.
It is so good. So I'm grateful for that.
You know, speaking of everyday dose and coffee, I recently started taking AG1. They used to be called athletic greens.
Okay.
Or AG1 greens, and like now they're just called AG1. But it's basically a probiotic, prebiotic, and greens powder, like plant-based. Which I was like, I don't know, like there's conflicting stuff I've seen about it. So I've been kind of like really slow on the athletic green stuff because also like I wanted to make sure I was getting something that was tested for like herbicides, pesticides, and heavy metals.
Okay.
And this has like, it's tested for all that. So I love that. But what I've noticed about drinking, this is a new habit that I've started in my life.
Okay.
Which I've wanted to get back to for literally years. And I don't know why it took me so long. It's so simple. Just like drinking water before I drink coffee.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah, totally.
But instead of drinking water, well, I do drink a little bit of water too, but like I'm drinking my greens now, right when I wake up in the morning. Because I want something to hit my stomach right away. And I want like probiotic, prebiotic fiber and stuff to hit my gut right. The first thing that you take in the morning should be really beneficial. Like it shouldn't just be freaking coffee.
Right.
So colostrum, cowboy colostrum, and my greens. That's like how I'm starting off the day now.
Cool.
But when you're talking about like breastfeeding friendly supplements and stuff, I think I told you today, like I want to start doing NAD injections.
Okay, yes. Talk about this with us. And is it breastfeeding friendly? I was actually going to ask you about this.
So if you look into everything's going to say about breastfeeding.
Ask your physician. No one wants to be. Which I'm like, what is my physician going to tell me?
I know. Who is that? I've never had a physician. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is a physician?
Yes. What is a physician?
Chiropractor? Yes. No. But like everything's going to say, no one wants to take responsibility over like potentially hurting a baby.
Right.
But I have read a lot of like positive impacts on breastfeeding and on taking NAD while breastfeeding.
Tell me more.
Yeah. So like I just like kind of did like some quick searches about like benefits of NAD and breastfeeding. And there's an actual like peer reviewed article about how it affects babies positively through the breast milk.
Interesting.
NAD is like, it helps basically like, I don't want to get too geeky, but your mitochondria, your mitochondria produces, your mitochondria is referred to as like the powerhouse of your cell. Yeah. It creates the power. It's like, it is the power plant of your cell. And it produces ATP. ATP is like the energy that your body runs off of it, your metabolism, your cognitive function, your actual like physical energy. And so NAD is like a precursor to that. It's something that helps support your, not just your metabolic health, but your mitochondrial health, which in return supports your metabolic health. Right. But one of the greatest things that NAD does is it really helps your cognitive performance.
Mama needs some cognitive performance up in here.
And it's also very, very anti-aging.
Interesting.
So a lot of biohackers, and I've always dipped my toes into the biohacking realm. I think it's fascinating. I love Ben Greenfield. I've been following Ben Greenfield for years. He's very, very dorky. He's been doing NAD injections. I love like
interesting.
Skinny Confidential has talked about it before. But you can do it yourself now. You can buy your own injections. Like, just like how people use like semaglutides, you know, like and they inject it. You can do that now. You have to like consult with a physician. But I have like been researching NAD and like have like wanted to do it for like 5 years.
Interesting.
And it's so affordable now. I can get like 20 doses of it for like less than $200.
Wow.
So I don't get my hair done. I don't get my nails done.
Right.
I don't do stuff like that. I think I can buy myself some NAD injections and just see how I feel. But really what I'm interested in is the cognitive function and like, of course, like the metabolic health too. I would love that too.
Okay. Cause like when you say metabolic health, it means that it can help with like weight loss and like things of that nature.
Yeah,
okay.
It just like it supports your energy production. So if you're feeling like your metabolism is a little bit sluggish, of course to always like
my
do it. I know. Yeah. Support your liver. Liver help is great. Yeah. Dandelion tea and
true.
There's a lot of different things you can do to support your liver.
Is that really a big thing? So your metabolism being sluggish is directly related to your liver.
Yeah.
Your liver function.
Is so
And why
important.
is that?
Well, people have like slow thyroid. Like just, everything's connected. Like everything in your body.
It's your detoxifying.
Yeah, it detoxes you. But like everything is connected.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I know that like for me personally, I feel like I've done enough to support my liver, and I don't know. I'm just like curious. I'm just curious what NAD will do.
I love that. Is it something that you have to take like always? Is it like a daily supplement kind of?
No.
Or is it something that you can build up and it improves?
I don't know how
and then
many.
you.
Yeah, no, I don't know how many like I know that people like who go to IV infusion places will get like once every 3 months.
Okay.
And at the 3 month mark, because my sister is a nurse at an IV clinic.
Yeah.
And she's like, after 3 months, like people are like begging to get it again. They're like, oh, I can tell. They can tell a difference right away. They literally like it's like a before and after. It's not like a. Oh, I take beef liver and I feel like my energy kind of improved. It's like I feel better right away.
Whoa,
it's one of those.
That. I feel like I need that.
So I'll like let you know how it goes.
Yeah, you're gonna be my little guinea pig.
I want to be my own guinea pig.
Yeah.
I want to like literally like do my first injection and then like just like see how it like see how I feel.
Wow.
But yeah, I know it's different than like the IV infusions. Like that process takes hours to be on a drip.
Right.
And that's a more intense. Like people will feel like nausea. Like, oh my gosh, my sister said that one time someone pooped themselves. Of course, that doesn't happen.
What do you mean? Someone pooped themselves because they just couldn't. It took too long.
No, it was just intense. Like it made them like it gave their belly react.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen when you give yourself injections. It's different than an infusion.
Oh wow, that poor person. I feel for that person.
It's the worst nightmare.
They were not prepared for that. I guarantee they didn't have a change of clothes. That poor person. Like because we're like in that phase where it's like I have a change of clothes for my kids, but that person did not.
We should always have change of clothes. Speaking of which, I should start carrying change of clothes. But yeah, so I'm excited about trying that.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
you kind of inspired me with this whole like wanting to just be more intentional about like how you're taking care of yourself, how you're showing up in your day for yourself. And for me, where that brought me, because I have always like I do get my hair done. I have enjoyed getting my nails done in the past. That's not the season that I'm in right now. What I do for my nails is actually the stickers. Like I love the sticker nail polish. That's just like a fun little easy, affordable. They're like $5 for a pack. And they'll last like 3 weeks. But I'm like, I am ready to like be committed to growing my eyelashes using serum to like grow my eyelashes. Castor oil.
It is so cheap and it is so good for your eyelashes and your eyebrows. I swear.
Like just like rub it on there?
Yes. Like at night, put like a dab on your finger and just castor oil is so good for everything. Castor oil packs. Yep. Castor oil in your belly button. Yep. Castor oil on your eyelashes.
Okay.
Take a before and after picture and do castor oil for 6 weeks. I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see if it helps.
Maybe I'll do castor oil instead of buying full of chemical serum.
Buy castor oil first. And
at least try.
Just try it for like a few months and see if you see a difference.
I will, because so what happened was, which again, if you don't know, eyelashes take a long time to grow back.
They do.
On their own.
They do.
No one tells us this. I wish I had learned this in home ec. You know, like why does no one mention this? But apparently they do. So like 3 years ago, I was like, I want to try like eyelash extensions. And biggest regret in my life, like they were gorgeous. And I felt so beautiful. Like to wake up with like beautiful long eyelashes.
I mean, it was a vibe to have your eyelashes done. Like 4 years ago, like 2020, everyone would be having them big butterfly eyelashes on. I know.
And like mine were very natural. I don't know if you remember. I had very natural.
Subtle.
The ones that I got like the actual extensions on. When I was doing Flutter Habit, that was a little extra. Those were a little not so natural. But when I got them done, they just look so beautiful. But like they ruined my eyelashes. Like my eyelashes have never been the same. They're so short.
Yeah.
And they're like straight out. And my youthful eyelashes are gone, and it makes me really sad. So I'm going to work on that. So I'm going to do castor oil.
It takes 3 months to grow an eyelash back.
It takes 3 months to grow an eyelash back.
Yeah.
That is horrendous news.
And it says that for eyelash serums that it should help within 3 to 4 months. Yeah.
Wow, you guys. I hope this changes your life now, knowing that it takes 3 months.
Yeah, it does.
For an eyelash to grow back. So you know what? Be careful what you do with your eyelashes.
And apparently the number one reason for your eyelashes changing is postpartum hormonal changes.
How about that? And maybe that is why.
And like nutritional deficiencies.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Breastfeeding increases nutritional deficiencies.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Biotin, iron, protein.
Does it say castor oil will help it?
I haven't looked that up
Okay,
yet,
okay.
but I think that it says peptides. Oh, you know what? That's something I want to look into. Peptides. I've heard a lot speaking about biohacking peptides.
Okay.
We can get into it now, but
Okay, maybe another time.
another time. Yeah, but I'm excited to see how castor oil might change your eyelashes.
Okay.
Put a bit in your belly button too.
What is it going to do to my belly button? Is it going to detox my liver?
Well, yeah, it can. Yeah, it does. It does.
If I put it in my belly button.
Yeah.
And is it safe for me to do that if I'm breastfeeding?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
But you know, I'm an optimist.
Not medical advice.
Yeah, this is not medical advice.
Yeah.
I think everything is like most things are fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll see. Maybe over the summer we'll get some cool updates on some of the stuff that we're interested in trying. But I'm so glad that we were able to catch up.
We come back 4 months from now. You have like acne.
I know. You told me castor oil would work. Oh man. Well, I am so glad that we got to just share some updates on each other and excited to continue these conversations.
Same.
In the weeks to come, I think, it's funny because I'm like, winter was winter. Like, I really felt like there was totally a rest. There was totally a slowing down. And it felt so good and it felt so right. And I feel like this was like the first winter in a long time where like I really settled into that. Obviously, it was postpartum and it was great.
Yeah.
But now the sun, like what daylight savings is happening like next week and spring is coming and I already feel it. Like I look at March, literally every weekend in March is like accounted for. And, I just think like momentum is coming. New things are coming. New things are flourishing.
Yes.
And so I think we will be having a lot more to share in the weeks and months to come through this podcast and would love to hear more of what you guys would like to hear.
Yeah. Thank you so much for just like taking the time to like listen and subscribe and share. It means a lot.
It really does.
We love hearing from you guys. Please comment. Please comment on our reels on our YouTube channel. We'd love to see what you guys want to hear more about. And we love to see what you guys are getting from this.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about talking with you guys again soon. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.